Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Renee Robbins, and I'm the industry programmer at TIFF. And we're very, very pleased to welcome this is the fourth year that TIFF and Indiewire are partnering on this co-presentation. And I'm thrilled to introduce Nigel Smith, who is the managing editor at Indiewire. Please welcome Nigel.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for coming out today to our first TIFF talk at the studio. So today we're going to be talking with the cast and the director of Welcome to Me, a comedy that just premiered last night. And first to the stage, I'm going to welcome the star of the film, KRISTEN WIIG. And her co-star in the film, Linda Cardellini. And we also have the director of the film, Shira Piven. Hello, ladies. How's it going?
Hi, good.
Good.
Can you hear
Good.
us? Yep.
Hi.
We're so scared.
You're so scared.
No, I'm just kidding.
Were you scared last night? How did the film premiere go?
Yeah, it's always scary. I mean, I was. I'm always scared. I'm always scared. Use that quote. No.
I had never seen it, so it was really, I guess I was a little scared, but I was trying to pretend it was exhilaration, but it was fun. It was fun to see it with an audience.
Yeah.
For the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had done some smaller screenings, but never in such a, I think it's 1,200 seats.
It's a big theater. It was at the
Yeah.
Princess of Wales.
Yeah, and it was amazing to hear that much laughter.
Yeah.
And throughout, it was, we kind of were in a daze afterward. The response was really overwhelming.
KRISTEN, was it your first time seeing the movie as well?
No, I feel like I've seen it a lot of times.
through the process.
Yeah, through the
Because you were a
process.
producer.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen that final. I guess I had seen the final version, not color corrected or anything or sound. But it's such a different experience watching it with hundreds of people. It's because you were saying today, it's such an isolating process. You're doing all these little tweaks, and you shoot it sort of by yourselves, you edit it by yourselves, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, here it is. It was really cool.
As actors, do you like watching yourself? Do you hate watching yourself? Are you extremely
hate it.
critical while watching yourself?
I hate it.
It's
really
pretty
hard.
awful. but it's part of it too. I think the fun part about seeing something that you're in is not watching yourself. That's not the fun part. But the fun part is seeing what everybody else did.
Yeah.
So if I didn't want to watch myself, then I would miss the brilliant performance that she had done, or how Shira directed the film, or the 250 people who worked behind the scenes and what they've done. So I like to watch it for all of that, but you have to sort of get over yourself too at some point and just let it go and watch it.
And Shira, why don't I have you describe, well, first let's get a show of hands for who has seen the film. Okay, so that's 3 people, 4 people, 5. Okay, more hopefully in the days to come.
Would everyone else mind leaving? Is that rude? No, I'm just kidding.
Spoiler alert.
Just kidding.
Well, Shira, why don't you describe exactly what the film's about? It's got quite the unique plot, and who both of these wonderful actors play.
Okay, it's a film about a woman who lives in the Palm Desert area, and she has borderline personality disorder, and she wins the lottery and buys herself her own cable access show that is exclusively about herself. That's basically what it's about. And KRISTEN plays the role of Alice Klieg, and this main woman, and Linda plays her best friend Gina.
Who's been with me throughout my entire
Childhood
life.
friends.
Yeah, childhood friends, yeah.
I had the same reaction when I first read the plot synopsis before actually seeing the film. I laughed out loud like much of the audience just did. What did you two make of the script when you first came across it? It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Exactly. It's unlike anything I've ever read. Elliot is Elliot Lawrence is the screenwriter, and he's just unbelievably brilliant and unique. I've never read anything like it, done anything like it. It was just very odd in a great way, and just different, and that's a bit rare to read something like that.
It's also, he's such a good writer that it's really an odd script, but never for its own sake, and that was always really important to me, is that it all has kind of a human logic to it, which I really love, and it's really funny, but never because we're laughing at this woman who has a real mental illness, but it's really funny because she does and says things that are hilarious as people we know in life do, and we kind of can't believe that she's actually doing and saying the things that she does, and yeah, that's all I'll say.
And Linda, what did you make of it?
When I first read the script, I thought it was so beautifully written, because on one hand, there's parts of it that are funny, but on the other hand, there's this beautiful dramatic side to it as well, and it walks this very fine line, and sort of is a movie that you haven't really seen before. It is almost its own little, genre, and it's such an interesting look at this woman who has issues, but also as a human being and what she does to the people around her because of that. And for me, it was a wonderful character, because I feel like she's the long-suffering best friend who really hopes and loves and believes in her in a way that nobody else can, but at the same time is most vulnerable to how much, somebody in a various state of their own mental torture can do things that hurt other people.
It's a friendship that's really at the heart of the film. How did you two go about forming that friendship? Did you two know each other prior to making this movie?
No.
No?
We didn't. No. We just became fast
Yeah.
buddies. we lived together throughout the shooting,
Right.
had pillow fights, stuff like that.
Full-blown method.
I don't think I knew that you guys didn't really know each, because you seemed so instantly like,
Yeah, we didn't.
No, we
Comfortable
didn't.
together.
We know we have people that we know in common, but we don't know each other. Now we just know each other inside and out. It's beautiful.
Well, Linda brought up the fine line that this film balances, and I want to know how you went about balancing it, because the film is really out there, but it's also extremely grounded. It's believable, oddly enough, and it's really funny. How did you keep all the things in place to make a kind of unified whole?
Well, there two things come to mind. One is that, my background is in theater directing, and really, I sort of fall in love with material. Though I have to say, I've never found a script that I loved as much as this one. It really, it felt like it had its own logic to it, and so I just kept letting the script and the kind of sensibility of Elliot guide me, and I worked with him a little bit on developing the final version of the script through conversations and reading drafts, and I just felt like I knew the world really well, but I've primarily my approach to comedy is always really through truth, through the humanity of the characters, and this script especially, I felt like the comedy was going to come through just playing the moments as honestly as possible, and so I just kept letting that lead me. Like the minute things kind of felt like it got too big and broad, it felt like it could potentially go off the rails. At the same time, in life, a character like Alice Klieg can have really out there crazy moments, and real life can be hilarious. So I feel like the balance came from starting with the humanity. I was also saying earlier, someone asked me a question about advice or good advice that you've gotten from people. I sort of randomly was somewhere with David O. Russell, who is a friend of my husband's and has been a friend of ours for a long time, and he was just saying, he sort of says things like off the cuff in the middle of doing something, and he's like, just play it like a drama. And I remember that sort of like, it was like a little thing to hold on to as I went into the process of filming it.
Is that an approach you take to your comedy, play it like a drama?
Well, there is a reality that you have to have other, because you want people to come with you, and you want to make, I think things are funnier, a character can make you laugh when you do think it's a real person, or maybe you know someone like that, or something's relatable or grounded to them, because if it's just, you know, totally wacky, then it's just that. So I understand what he's saying. I agree with that, yeah.
How do you prepare for a role like this?
Well, I just show up, and no, I'm prepared, I guess. I don't know specifically. I mean, as far as the
mental illness.
The mental illness
yeah.
part, yes, of course. I mean, I wanted to be educated and wanted to know what I was doing, and one thing that I found is if this person has borderline personality disorder and this person has it, it could manifest in, they could be totally two different people, completely different personalities. It varies with people, and so I just kind of found Alice through the way Elliot beautifully wrote her, and she has all these very specific traits, and I just wanted to take what I knew about it, but also stay true to who Alice kind of already was. And you feel like when you're reading the script that you know this person, and so I just tried to approach everything coming from her point of view rather than just a general mental illness point of view, if that makes sense.
Makes beautiful sense.
Okay, thanks.
And with that, we unfortunately have to end
Oh.
it. I know,
Okay.
really short.
Sorry, that was the last. It's kind of a boring answer. It was
Oh,
our
I
last
thought it was great.
thing.
You ended it off on a high note. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming,
Thank
guys.
Hello. We're still awaiting. Wow, that is loud. Jake Gyllenhaal, who is close to entering the building to talk about Nightcrawler. That's supposed to start off at 4. I don't have a watch on me, but I believe it is 4. So please stick around, and I will be back to moderate a panel with Jake Gyllenhaal.